In this video, we're going to uncover 7 hidden signals that prove you're not just surviving at work, you're secretly flourishing. We'll look at the subtle language of the workplace that tells you you're more valued than you think. And you want to stay tuned because sign number 5 is a powerful indicator of trust that genuinely might surprise you. Signal number 1, you're giving autonomy and bigger problems. The first hidden signal that you're thriving is a subtle shift in the type of work you're getting. It's not about getting more work, but about being handing more autonomy and bigger, more ambiguous problems to solve. Think back when you first started your role. There was probably a lot of hand-holding. Your manager checked in constantly and gave you clear step-by-step instructions. Now you might notice the check-ins are less frequent. Your boss doesn't micromanage your process anymore. They hand you the project with a desired outcome, trusting you to figure out the how. This isn't neglect, it's a deliberate extension of trust. It's a sign you've proven you're reliable and don't need constant supervision. This often comes with a new kind of challenge. You're assigned the messy problems. These are the projects with no clear answers or the tasks that require you to coordinate across departments. You're no longer just pointing out problems, you're now the one expected to bring solutions to the table. This is a clear trait of a high performer. Remember, being given autonomy equals trust, not abandonment. This shift is one of the most powerful non-verbal indicators of respect and trust you can get from leadership. Managers delegate high-stakes work to people they believe are capable of handling it. They are relying on your judgment and critical thinking. When you're given a project with a fuzzy outline, it's a quiet acknowledgement that your leaders are confident in your ability to lead, create, and deliver results on your own. It's a clear sign your leadership sees you as a self-directed, high-impact member of the team. Signal number 2 is your colleagues actively seek your opinion. The second signal is a change in your influence within your team. You find that your colleagues and even people from other departments are starting to seek your opinion or advice on their own work. This isn't about being popular. It's about becoming the go-to resource. It might start small with co-workers messaging you something like, "Can you take a quick look at this?" Or "What's your take on this?" for example. Then you might find yourself being pulled into meetings that aren't directly related to your projects simply because someone values your perspective. This recognition is often more genuine and impactful than the top-down praise because it comes from the people who see your day-to-day contributions. This is a direct reflection of your perceived competence. In a healthy work environment, people naturally gravitate towards those who have demonstrated good judgment and expertise. You've become a trusted sounding board. This is a powerful indicator of influence, an asset that doesn't show up on a performance review, but is critical for career advancement. Having better recognition amongst your team is always a big indicator of whether or not you're ready to be promoted and take the next role up. Why it matters? Being sought out for your opinion is a clear sign that you are building trust and credibility within your peers. It shows you're not seen as just a task doer, but a strategic thinker. This peer-to-peer validation is often a leading indicator of formal recognition. Managers notice who the team relies on. It's a measure of your value that's based not just on your own output, but on how you elevate the work of those around you. Signal number 3, you're pulled into more cross-functional projects. The third signal is your calendar filling up with meetings and tasks outside of your immediate team. You're being asked to contribute to cross-functional projects, task forces, or company-wide initiatives. At first, this can feel like you're just being stretched thin. You might wonder why you're being pulled into a marketing project when you're in operations, for example, but it's really accidental. Being chosen for these collaborations is a deliberate act. This means your reputation has expanded beyond your own manager. Other leaders have noticed your work. They see you as someone who can collaborate well with and represent your team effectively. High-performing employees are often identified as those who can work well with others and break down silos between departments. Being visible across your company or studio is the secret career currency. This is worth a lot more than any training budget, any new tools you can learn. Participating in cross-functional projects shows that you are creating value for the entire company, not just for your own team. This is incredibly important for your career. It gives you visibility with leaders across the business, expands your network, and provides a more holistic understanding of the organization. When you're the person they tap for these assignments, it's a clear signal that the company sees you as a potential future leader, someone who can think beyond their job description and drive success for the whole organization. Signal number 4 is feedback becomes a conversation, not a condemnation. The fourth signal might seem counterintuitive. You find yourself getting more frequent and specific constructive feedback. When an employee is struggling, feedback is often focused on correcting basic errors. But for a high performer, the feedback evolves. It becomes a strategic conversation aimed at refinement and growth. Your manager stops telling you what to do and starts asking, what do you think the next step should be? Or how can we make this even more impactful? This shows that your boss sees you as a partner in your own department. You've performed so well that they want to give you the critiques needed to become even better, which is vital for career growth. They see you as someone who's receptive to feedback, who can use it to improve. You can have real, honest conversations without fear, which is a sign of a healthy and respectful team environment. Remember, this feedback is always an investment, it's not criticism. Receiving this kind of nuanced, forward-looking feedback is a sign that your manager is investing in your long-term success. They are not just managing your current performance, they are actively coaching you for your next role. The shift from prescriptive to collaborative feedback shows you've earned their trust and are seen as a professional with high potential. And managers' willingness to engage in this kind of dialogue is a strong indicator they view you as a key part of the team's future. If any of these signs are sounding familiar, take a moment to let that sink in. It's easy to get lost in the day-to-day and miss the quiet signs of your own success. Which of these 4 points has resonated with you the most so far? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one and I'd love to hear which of these indicators you've been experiencing. And while you're down there, if you're getting value from this video, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future content. Signal number 5 is that you're trusted with confidential and sensitive information. Now, for our 5th signal, and it's a big one, you are gradually being brought into the inner circle. This happens when your manager starts sharing sensitive or confidential information with you. This isn't office gossip. This is being trusted with strategically important information before it's made public. For example, your boss might give you a heads up about a team reorganization or a challenge the department is facing. They might say something like, I'm telling you this because I trust your discretion and I need your help with this. Being included in these pre-briefings is a massive vote of confidence. It signals that your leaders see you not just as an employee, but as a trusted ally with sound judgment. They believe you have the maturity to handle sensitive topics professionally and won't spread rumors. This is a powerful shift from being just an employee to becoming a confidant. Remember, this is often the single strongest sign. It could be getting a heads up about a team restructuring, being told about strategic risks before a general announcement, or being asked to help plan a communication for sensitive change. Take a moment to reflect and see if any of these feel familiar to you at work. Trust is the ultimate currency in the workplace. When leaders trust you with information, they're implicitly trusting you with responsibility. It means they value your perspective and are likely testing your capacity for a larger leadership role. Leaders need to know they can count on you. By including you in these conversations, they are earmarking you as someone who is part of the solution. This is one of the clearest hidden signals that you are being groomed for greater influence. Remember, you're not being told this so you can go and gossip. Always make sure you maintain professionalism. Signal number 6, you find yourself mentoring others even informally. The 6th signal is that you have, maybe without even realizing it, become an informal mentor to your colleagues. This isn't about a formal company program. This is about organically becoming the person that newer team members or even your peers come to you for guidance. You might notice this as a new hire asking for your advice, or a coworker asking you to show them how you did something. You find yourself explaining processes, sharing advice, or simply acting as a role model. This informal mentoring is a natural result of your growing mastery and the respect you've earned. People observe your success and want to learn from you. They see you as someone who not only knows what they're doing, but is also approachable and helpful. High performers often act as leaders even when they're not in a formal leadership role. Mentoring others is always one of the biggest signals that you've reached that maturity and that mastery of your field. Becoming an informal mentor is a powerful sign you're thriving, because it shows you not only can do your own work well, but also elevate the skills of those around you. This is a key leadership trait. This behavior contributes to the team productivity and a positive culture, things that good leaders pay close attention to. When you teach others, you solidify your own expertise. It's a clear signal to management that you have a leadership potential and are invested in the team's collective success. And signal number 7, you complain less and you strategize more. The final hidden signal is a fundamental shift in your own mindset. You notice that you complain less about problems and spend more time strategizing solutions. Everyone vents about work sometimes, but there's a difference between letting off steam and dwelling on problems. Thriving employees see challenges not as frustrating roadblocks, but as an interesting puzzle to solve. When faced with an obstacle, your first instinct is no longer to say, this is impossible. Instead, you want to find yourself asking, okay, how can we make this work? Or what's another way we can approach this? This proactive, solution-focused approach is a core trait of top performers. You're not just identifying problems anymore, you're taking the initiative to fix them. This is a shift from a passive mindset to one of active ownership and accountability. High performers are committed to continuous improvement and aren't afraid to challenge the status quo to find a better way. Remember, take ownership of your work. This mindset shift is perhaps the most profound sign that you are truly thriving. It shows you feel a sense of agency and empowerment in your role. From a performance standpoint, this aligns directly with what leaders look for. People who don't just bring them problems, but who bring them proposed solutions. By consistently thinking strategically and taking initiative, you are marking yourself out as a driver of progress. This shift shows you're no longer just working in the system, you're working on the system. That is the ultimate sign of a flourishing professional. An example of this is, we're blocked by X, here's option A, this is a trade-off, here's option B, this is a trade-off. So, thriving at work isn't always about loud applause or big promotions. It's often found in the quiet, subtle signals that are easy to miss if you don't know what to look for. Let's quickly recap the 7 hidden signals. First, you're given more autonomy for bigger problems. Second, your colleagues actively seek your opinion. Third, you're pulled into cross-functional projects. Fourth, feedback becomes a strategic conversation about your growth. Fifth, you're trusted with sensitive information. Sixth, you find yourself informally mentoring others. And finally, you complain less and strategize more. If you recognize yourself in even a few of these signals, take a moment and re-evaluate the story you're telling yourself about your career. That feeling of treading water might actually be you successfully handling greater responsibilities and more complex challenges. You're not just surviving, you are growing, you are valued, and you are thriving. Evidence is right there in your daily work. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you see your own career in a new light, please share it with a colleague who might need to hear this message. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building a career you're truly proud of. Until next time, keep an eye out for the quiet signs of your own success.